Record progress.
I'll go ahead and show. All right. Well, everyone, thank you so much for being a part of our presentation today. Again, today we're going to be talking about destinations in Latin America. And I'm so excited to talk to you about these destinations because this is actually my passion, where I studied abroad. So this is going to be a very fun session. We'll have some interactive activities and it will be great. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. I'll start off with an intro for myself. My name is Zoe Crowe-Barnes, and I am an ISA Senior Regional Director, and I am a Regional Director for the state of Texas. So basically what that means is I collaborate with Brittany and other members of your office and your university, generally speaking, to tell you about these wonderful opportunities and hopefully get you on these programs and walk you through the process. So feel free to take a screenshot or whatever you need. I'll provide my email in the chat at the end, but this is my email. Do feel free if you ever have any questions about these programs. I'm always available to you via email. But a little bit about me before I begin. So the reason I fell in love with educational travel to begin with was I did a service learning program in high school. I went to Cocle, Panama for 2 months. And I mean, this is a cheesy thing to say, but it really did change my life and shaped my perspective. And I knew that I wanted to continue traveling from there in college. So I went to the University of Missouri after that and continued to do summer service learning trips. I went to Nicaragua, I went to Costa Rica. And not only did I get to participate in some experiential learning, some service on the ground, but I also really got to hone in my Spanish speaking abilities. And just really fell in love with the people, the culture, the language, all of it. So I'm really excited to talk to you guys a little bit about Latin America as a destination, because in my unbiased opinion, it's a fantastic place to go abroad. So again, what are we going to be focusing on today? Today's focus will be on Latin America specifically. ISA offers a number of locations you'll see on the map in Europe, Africa, Asia, and Australia as well. But we're just going to be focusing on the following countries where we offer programs. So Costa Rica, Colombia, Peru, Chile, Argentina, Brazil, and the Dominican Republic. So over the next few slides, or for the next 50 minutes or so, I'm going to be just throwing out some program highlights, whether it's academic diversity or just maybe something cool that the program offers, just to give you some highlights of Latin America and just the quick rundown of what you can expect in the region. So just to give you quickly an overview of ISA before we jump into those destinations, what we provide. We like to say that we make study abroad easy. So from the moment that you're interested in studying abroad, we are there to be a part of your process. So literally right now, as we're speaking, finding a destination that's going to be perfect for you. And then we will walk you all the way through the process. We've got a 24/7 hour full-time resident staff on staff who will be there with you through your experience. And then even when you come home, just helping you readjust back into your home community with reentry materials and things like that. So what do we provide? Generally speaking, I like to say that we provide everything except for the flight over. So when you look at the program price, that it's going to include your tuition at your host university, housing, meals and a laundry service, which I'll break down a little bit more, weekend excursions. So all those extra traveling excursions on the weekends, cultural activities that will all be included in the program price as well as, those boring things like your medical insurance and the 24/7 health and safety, but obviously very important. But even something as small as like airport reception. So as soon as you land in country, let's say you're flying into San Jose in Costa Rica, the ISA staff will be there to greet you. They'll have a big sign with your name on it. They'll collect you. They'll show you about the city. They'll tell you how to take public transportation, how to get from, your apartment to school, and really be your home away from home through your experience. Just to provide just a quick slide on health and safety, we know that this is a top priority, especially in these uncertain times. So you, again, will have the 24/7 support from both your local staff and the US-based staff. So we have a 24/7 hour emergency phone that we're constantly, monitoring and picking up. So you've got, sort of you can be as independent as you want to be, but you've got a blanket for health and safety throughout your program. We're going to provide pre-departure preparations and on-site safety orientations. We're going to support students through the on-site staff, provide you insurance, select accommodations in low-risk areas, and then partner with reputable transportation companies. And we're always monitoring worldwide security levels. And this is specifically very relevant right now for COVID, as we see, DOS and CDC rates continuing to vary. We're monitoring those and we're keeping you updated, and we're keeping folks like your parents and your university updated as well. All right, so let's get into the fun stuff. I wanted to start off our presentation today with an interactive activity. So if you guys want to go ahead in the chat, I've got 4 pictures on the screen, and they are destinations around the world, but it's specifically in Latin America. So feel free to drop your guesses in the chat, but where do you think these destinations are in Latin America? Any guesses? All right, I see Brazil. Okay. Which picture do you think is Brazil? For Buenos Aires. Okay, all 4. Jessica said 4 for Buenos Aires. All right. Any other guesses? All right, I'll go ahead and reveal the answers. All right, Jessica, you were correct. 4 is in Buenos Aires. It's right in the city center. Very good guess. And there's like 7 lanes of traffic in the city center. I think you can even see in the picture, like cars speeding around. So it's bustling, it's very busy, and 7 lanes of traffic stresses me out. I don't know about you, but I will view it and not drive in it. But for 1, 2, and 3, I'll reveal those answers. The first is actually in Panama City. I got to visit when I was, I had to have been 16 at the time. This big building you see in the center is actually called the Screw, and it actually won an innovation award in architecture in 2016. So that's pretty cool. You can see like the large cityscape of Panama City. Number 2 is in Lima, Peru. It's called the Plaza de Armas. So it's right in the city center, and actually part of our orientation, we take you to Plaza de Armas and show you around. So that's Peru. Number 3 is actually in Santiago, Chile. It's called the Gran Torre. That's that big building you see up top, that really tall skyscraper. That's called the Gran Torre. And then finally, Jessica, as you'd mentioned, number 4 is in Buenos Aires. So the reason I did this activity and why I thought it was relevant to mention is I think sometimes we can pigeonhole Latin America a little bit in our minds, especially in study abroad culture. I hear it being described a lot as like an off the beaten path location, which is not entirely accurate. Latin America has a lot to offer. There's rural locations, but there's also very urban locations, cultural hubs, city centers. And it's just, there's a lot more diversity than I think sometimes the media or study abroad culture gives it credit for. So that was the purpose of this activity, just so you can, get to know the destinations a little bit more. So some quick did you knows about Latin America, just sort of in this vein. The cities of Monterrey and Guadalajara in Mexico are being called the Silicon Valley of Latin America for their business and IT booms. So very much up and coming cities, really big tech hub. Costa Rica is an international hub for environmental sustainability research. And I'll get into this when I talk about Latin America or about Costa Rica a little bit more, but actually really amazing for ecotourism as well. They're like leading in the world in like ecotourism. Another UNESCO report places the region among the world's frontrunners for female scientific researchers. Second to only Central Asia, according to these stats, Latin America has some of the highest numbers of female researchers and investigators in the world, which is very cool. I'm going to talk about our Barranquilla program and science research a little bit later, but very relevant to this point. And then finally, 6 Nobel Prize winners in literature and 6 Nobel Peace Prize winners come from Latin America. So that's very cool as well. So just some quick facts and just fun stuff for you about Latin America. So Latinx pop culture recommendations. I thought this was really relevant. We were popping this around actually at ISA, just having, Latinx folks that work at our company, but then also just folks who have studied abroad in Latin America. I know before I went abroad to Latin America, especially to improve my Spanish speaking abilities before I went, I used to watch like Friends in Spanish, and I also would just look up like popular music and stuff like that. So if you're interested in like Latinx movies, TV, podcasts, book, TED Talks, all the good stuff, there's a bit.ly link /ISA Latinx. So if you are thinking about studying abroad in these destinations, we'll oftentimes provide these for folks so they're able to like get into the culture and get excited about the culture before they're even there. So definitely feel free to check that out. I love to look at it. And when I'm feeling nostalgic for Latin America, it's definitely fun with like movies and music and all that stuff. So looks like the other slide didn't come up, but I want to start the presentation now. We're going to delve into site-specific information. And I wanted to start first with Costa Rica. And the reason I'm doing this is because in the last 2 to 3 years, we've seen explosive growth in Costa Rica. Our most popular programs before that always were Barcelona and Florence and Sevilla, Spain, London, Rome, just a lot of locations in Europe. But what we've seen over the last couple of years is that students are just flocking to Costa Rica, and it's now become our 3rd most popular program. So students are loving it. Why are students loving it so much? I mentioned sustainability. A lot of Gen Z, a lot of college students are really interested in the sustainability approach and how they can, apply that to their lives. And Costa Rica is a fantastic destination for those folks that are really interested in sustainability, whether that be environmental science or ecotourism or marine biology from a sustainability focus. Costa Rica is really a fantastic destination to explore that. We also say that these Costa Rica students are explorers. They love nature. Costa Rica is obviously an extremely beautiful country, and we see a lot of folks going on excursions, like on hikes around the country. And we lead a lot of those hikes over the course of our excursions. But even if there's no excursion on the weekends, a lot of people choose to leave the city of San Jose and go explore some of the nature outside. A popular location is Monteverde, which is a great location. It's really mountainous, great for hiking. We also see people go up to Playa Hermosa, which is like a black sand beach. So again, lots of really cool nature to discover in Costa Rica. Also for your language skills, I'm going to get into this in a little bit, but I would say Costa Rica is a great destination if you're not super comfortable with your Spanish, but you're looking to learn. I would say it's a really good beginner level Spanish speaking country just because the speech is very straightforward. It tends to be a little bit slower. And a lot of folks who have gone on our program say that it was really easy to pick up the Spanish, especially as maybe somebody that wasn't exposed to the language, but wanted to learn a little bit more. Another reason Costa Rica is so popular is because, let's be honest, it's affordable and we're all about the money here, right? So that's actually a huge reason I chose my program, was affordability. But if you look in comparison to our other programs in Europe and Australia, you'll see that Costa Rica is a much more affordable destination, which is attractive to a lot of folks. Finally, in Costa Rica, you're able to do either service learning or Veritas. Like I mentioned, this was my experience going abroad, but service learning is a program where you are able to actually go to class, but then you're also on top of that able to work at like a nonprofit organization. So let's say you're in healthcare or education, or you really just want experience working with a nonprofit or plugging into your local community. ISA service learning is a great opportunity. It's a part-time opportunity to really invest in your local community. So for example, I was taking a class when I was abroad, and then after my class was done at the university, then I would go and I would teach English at a local school and work with the kids there. So really helped me invest in the community and learn more about my surroundings. And it was just a fantastic experience. We also offer ISA Veritas. This is specifically for Christian students who are, looking to expand their Christian faith abroad. There are mission opportunities as well, if you would like that as well. So why students just love Costa Rica and are flocking to Costa Rica. So academics, I'm going to specifically focus on San Jose. We also have a site in Heredia, but San Jose is the one that's, again, exploding with popularity. There are a number of options. You can do a semester, you can do a summer, or you can do an intensive Spanish language, which is like a couple weeks over the summer, so a shorter term program. But like I mentioned, what really makes this program unique is the amount of course offerings in English. And a huge focus is going to be environmental science, healthcare, psychology. There's some really cool sociology courses as well, but there's some great marine biology courses, tropical biology. So if you're interested in like that realm of things, healthcare, environment, bio, psychology, there's a lot of great courses in English in Costa Rica. We also have 20 plus years of partnership with our host university in San Jose. It's the university is called Universidad Veritas, and it's this beautiful little campus right in the middle of San Jose. San Jose tends to be a very urban, bustling city, but you almost feel like you're stepping into like a little nature preserve when you go into Universidad Veritas. It's very green, filled with trees, again, very small class sizes. So great if you are looking to take, let's say, like a marine biology course, but maybe you want to take Spanish as well. Both are great options. I'll just give you a little background on housing for Costa Rica, and this is going to be applicable for most of our sites in Latin America, so I'll delve into it now just to give you a good idea. We have two options, a host family or independent housing. We highly recommend doing a host family experience, especially if this is your first time going abroad. What are the ups of doing, or the positives of doing a homestay experience? Immersion and integration. You're going to gain a lot of insight from a local family, and it will also give you the opportunity to practice your Spanish. I can speak from experience. I lived with a host family, and it was super impactful on my experience because I actually felt like I got to make friends with locals, and I wasn't just sticking with my American group. Thankfully, I've got a big family at home in the States, so I requested to have a big host family, and I had about 5 or 6 host siblings when I studied abroad, which was perfect for me because it reminded me of home. But those friends were able to, connect me up to their friends, and we were able to go to coffee shops, and they would, help me explore on the weekends. And it really just allowed me to learn more about my host community. And I mean, my Spanish just grew entirely from this host family experience. You don't necessarily have to have a Spanish background to do a host family. We've got host families that also speak English. So, or that are at least bilingual. So, if you're like, I don't think I can do this program because I don't speak any Spanish, that's totally fine. We will completely accommodate your language needs. This is included in all homestays, so I won't harp on this in further slides, but what's included in a homestay? You get 2 meals a day, typically breakfast and dinner, and you get laundry service once a week. So you get those meals included too. That's really nice, and that does cut down on cost. And you can eat some really yummy local food provided by your host family. All right, I'm going to go ahead and switch over to Valparaiso and Viña del Mar, Chile. This tends to be our next most popular program in Latin America, and I'll explain why a little bit later. But programs available, you can do traditional study abroad for both the semester and the summer. Like I mentioned before, there is Veritas and service learning available as well in these sites. So if you want to add on that service component, we can absolutely do that for you. We have 2 host universities that we work with, Pontificia Universidad, and we call it's the UAI is what we say for short, Universidad Adolfo Ibanez. And the top areas of study are Spanish language. There's like Latin American culture and studies, but what I really want to harp on is the business piece. And this is why this program is so popular, is it's very, very, very popular for business students. And I will explain why in a couple slides. A little bit more about Chile. The homestay option that I mentioned before is available for Chile, as well as independent housing if you would like to secure that. Just some quick fun facts about Chile. It is actually the driest place on earth. I know maybe some people think it's like the Sahara Desert. No, it's actually Chile. It's the Atacama Desert. Yeah, driest place on earth. That's what I love about Chile is there's, like Patagonia is right there in Argentina, but you also have this really dry desert, but it's also super mountainous, but it's also on the ocean. There's a lot happening in Chile. Central Valparaiso is actually a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it's a main active port for Chile. So that's pretty cool. And then finally, I'm a big fan of the Food Network, so I thought this was interesting. Cibaritico is a sandwich shop that was featured on American TV, and it's right in downtown Viña. It was actually featured on the Food Network. So if you do decide to go to Chile and study abroad in Viña, definitely go to the sandwich shop. So programs we love in Chile that I want to highlight. Specifically, this is our business program at the UAI. It's a semester and summer program. I've posted the prices here on the screen, but why is this program so special and why does it stand out in Latin America? The UAI was bestowed a Triple Crown Award, which refers to its accreditation. So it's like a triple accreditation for its business school specifically. It's AACSB accredited, EKIS accredited, and AMBA accredited. So it's the UAI is in the top 1% of business schools in the world who have also received this Triple Crown Award. The UAI also holds the Chilean National Commission of Accreditation and a couple other accreditations as well, which you can read below. But it's really, really rare to have this Triple Crown accreditation in business. The UAI is an extremely world-renowned school in business. So we do have a lot of business students seeking out this opportunity and specifically going to Valpo for the business courses. So if you're a business major, you're looking for a great program, high quality education, would highly recommend the UAI. Buenos Aires. I did want to touch on this program because again, sort of with this narrative of like, I want to study abroad in Europe. I really want to go to Europe. I wanted to point out Buenos Aires because if there's any city that feels quintessentially like a European city in Latin America, it's going to be Buenos Aires. So again, we have the traditional study abroad in some semester and summer. The host university is Universidad de Belgrano, and it's right in the middle of Buenos Aires. And it's again, like, it's an extremely big, bustling city. You'll likely be taking public transportation. Maybe if you're really used to Houston, you're really used to that big city environment, Buenos Aires is a great option for you. So top 5 areas of study, this tends to be a Spanish language program. So when I talk to students who are like, I really want to improve on my Spanish, this is a great program that I send them to. So if you're looking to take classes in English, would not recommend this program, but really great if you're looking for that urban experience, that big old architecture, city experience, and a lot of Spanish language, this is the program for you. A little bit more about Argentina. We have homestays again with the meals included. We also have an apartment and a student residence in Buenos Aires. So the student residence is very much like a dorm. So there are also other housing options in Argentina if you're more interested in doing the apartment or the student residence. Some fun facts about Argentina. Argentina has had 2 female presidents in its history. So that's 2 more than the United States, no shade. The world's first full-length cartoon was actually made and released in Argentina. And this was actually the inspiration for Walt Disney. So, you know, they were doing it well before Walt Disney, and Disney took a lot of the same ideas from these folks in Argentina. So pretty cool. And the highest and lowest points in South America are both in Argentina. So I mentioned the Patagonia. There's actually a weekend excursion where you go to Patagonia. That's really popular among students, especially folks who love to hike. I would definitely recommend to you if you're feeling adventurous and you want to go on your own, you want to camp for a couple days. You really can't miss it. Patagonia is absolutely stunning. And again, you got the high points and you got the low points. You got everything. So programs we love, I'm going to go ahead and switch actually into our next location, which is Barranquilla, Colombia. And again, I think this is very much an underrated destination. Barranquilla is actually the home of Shakira, and it's right on the coast. It's like, it is a beach city through and through. Like, you are right on the ocean. It feels very Caribbean when you go. So really fun. If you're into the beach vibes, Colombia and specifically Barranquilla is the place to go. So I specifically want to focus on this program at Universidad del Norte, specifically for engineering students. Again, I hear a lot of engineering students say, I can't go abroad. Oh my gosh, I can only go abroad in Australia. Not the truth at all. The Universidad del Norte is one of the top universities in Colombia. It is a high priority. UniNorte is actually ABET accredited in civil, electrical, electronics, industrial, mechanical, and systems engineering programs. So it's really cool. It's really well renowned in Latin America and across the world. Maybe that ABET accreditation isn't super important to UH Clear Lake, but it just gives you a sense of the type of caliber of program for engineering students. A fun fact is the ISA Barranquilla office, so our office on site, is actually located on the 6th floor of the engineering building at Universidad del Norte. So again, the engineering department has been recognized for its forward-thinking, creative, and sustainable design. But let's say, you know, you want to go to class and then stop in at the ISA office. It's all conveniently located in that engineering building. So very centrally located, great for engineering students. So if I got any engineers on the call, this is your program. The final thing I'll highlight about this program specifically is there's a really cool research course. I know I'd mentioned, you know, the amount of female researchers in Latin America, but there's a research course, a research project that I've seen a lot of students bring back for capstones. And it's essentially in any topic you want, although a very popular topic has been either engineering, mathematics, or science. But you can pretty much run your own research project. You get connected up with a professor at Universidad del Norte, and you actually work on the project in conjunction with that professor. So it can be an independent project. You can decide what the topic is, and the professor will just like sort of provide structure for you throughout the program. It's a really, really cool class, especially if you are a junior or a senior and you're looking to get some capstone credit. Definitely consider doing that research project. The last site that I want to focus on is actually Lima, Peru. And I wanted to do just a quick like resident director spotlight because I think she's the coolest, and just to give you a little bit more sight into Lima. I have a picture of her. She's a big surfer, but our resident director in Lima, her name is Michelle McGraney, and she's been the resident director with ISA since 2006, and she's actually been with ISA in general since 1998. She's from Texas, but then went abroad, met her wonderful husband, and actually ended up staying in Lima. So she used to work in our Austin office and then moved to Lima and became our resident director. And I hope you guys get to meet her at some point. She just loves students more than anything. She's so fun, so outgoing, and gives you a great local tour of Lima. But I think this is, I wanted to put this in here just to say that our staff abroad is really there to take care of you. A lot of them have been around since 2000, 2010, and really know the area. And I think Miss Michelle is just a great highlight and a great example of that. So what can you expect to find in Lima, Peru? It's a capital city of 10 million people located on the Pacific coast. As you can see, Michelle loves to surf. So if you're ever interested in learning how to surf, this is a great location to do that. Delicious food. This was a couple of years back in 2018, but Lima, Peru was actually rated one of the best cities in the world for gastronomy. So if you're a foodie and you really want to, taste some great local cuisine, Lima is very, very, very much known to be a foodie city. Then there's also national theaters, the National Ballet, major concerts, top museums, archaeological sites. So if you're interested in museums, if you're interested in going to big concerts, Lima is definitely a great destination for you. I'll also talk about this in a little bit, but it has some of the top universities in Peru in Lima that we work with, and just generally friendly people. I think this is across the board, but Michelle always likes me to point out that she loves the people in Peru and that they're extremely friendly to newcomers. So programs we love in Peru. I wanted to highlight this one specifically because it is unique in terms of academic offerings. So this is over the summer. It's a summer program, and it's specifically focused on health science, fieldwork, and medical Spanish. So it's a very short program, but it's very concentrated, especially if you're looking to go into the healthcare field, if you're looking to go into medicine, become a doctor. But it also gives you just some great basics in medical Spanish. We know that in the healthcare field, especially in Texas, that having a preliminary knowledge of Spanish is so important, and it becomes more and more important. So this has become a very popular program over the years for that reason. But so founded in 1961, the university has become one of the leading medical schools in Peru with a concentrated population of 2,000 students. The UPCH specializes in medicine, dentistry, natural sciences, public health, veterinary, nursing, psychology, and education. The UPCH was ranked 68th in the QS Latin America University rankings in 2018 and the second highest in all of Peru. ISA students in this program partake in a field work in the health sector in addition to their studies. So you'll be taking a class and also working in healthcare. Pretty unique. It's hard to find experiential learning opportunities in this field. So definitely a fantastic opportunity. So that concludes the portion of the presentation on destinations. Hopefully you got some great highlights. If you're a business major, if you're interested in environmental science, if you want to go to med school, hopefully you found a program that will fit your academic needs. So let's really quickly talk about funding. If you already use financial aid or scholarships, it's likely that you can use those awards to go abroad as well. So just to give you some quick facts and figures, 50% of ISA students use financial aid to pay for their program. And this is going to be entirely determined by University of Houston Clear Lake. So what I would advise you to do is meet with your financial aid office just to talk about how that financial aid would apply to, let's say, a semester abroad. Over 75% of ISA students also receive a grant, scholarship, or discount directly from ISA for their program. So congratulations, UH Clear Lake is an affiliate of ISA. So all of you automatically receive $200 off of your program, which is amazing. But we also offer plenty of scholarships that award much more than $200 as well. So what I like to say with scholarships is two things. First, start planning early. Scholarship deadlines tend to come up a lot faster than application deadlines. So let's say, for example, for this upcoming spring 2022, our application deadline is October 15th, but a lot of our programs, the deadlines aren't until November 15th. So just be sure that you're on top of your scholarship application and planning ahead to make sure you've got that all in check. You also have to write an essay to apply for a scholarship. It's one scholarship, so it's just one application that you put in and you check all the scholarships that you're eligible for, but it does take a little bit of time to write that essay. So just, again, be sure you're planning ahead. I also like to say when talking about funding to diversify your portfolio as much as humanly possible. So ISA has a bunch of scholarships. Check off everyone you're eligible for and stick your hat in that ring. UHCL has scholarships, probably has scholarships. I'm sure Brittany can touch on that in a little bit, but UHCL has scholarships, so apply for those as well. There's also a lot of external scholarships you can apply for. So for example, the Gilman is a great external application. There's also great diversity abroad scholarships. So if you type into Google diversity abroad, you'll see all those scholarships that are available. And if you're eligible for any of those, please do apply. We also have another set of tools. Sorry about that. We've got another set of tools for budgeting that I like to talk students through. So you'll see on our website that there are some approximate estimations for airfare, for, eating out. If you decide you want to eat out, it'll give you like an approximate for like how much toiletries cost, and like books and supplies, any of that extra stuff. So as you're calculating your semester abroad, take that into consideration. There's also an option for a payment plan as well. So you'll see that there's a final forms and payment deadline to get your payment in. You don't necessarily have to pay the big payment at the final forms and payment deadline. There is an option for you to pay that in increments. So as you're applying, just make sure that you're talking to your program manager if you would like about getting on a payment plan. Hear from our alumni. I think this is really cool, really important, and a cool resource besides like that Latinx, the Latinx resources that I put you on. We have an ISA student blog where you can actually read about the experiences of other students. There are some really fascinating blogs on there about people's experiences in Latin America. I'm thinking like in Lima, there's a great blog on like places to eat. I know we've got plenty of blogs from Costa Rica as well. So you can sort of get a sense of what your experience is going to look like before you go abroad. And, maybe you've got things on your bucket list from reading those blogs. So would highly encourage you to check that out. And then also we have a team of global ambassadors that are more than willing to connect with you. So let's say you are thinking you want to go to Barranquilla, but you're not really sure what that experience is like, and you want to talk to someone beforehand. We can connect you up with one of our alumni, one of our global ambassadors who went to Barranquilla, who can talk to you a little bit about that experience, what the host university is like, what it feels like to live there, and just sort of give you some honest feedback on the program. So do feel free to read the blog or reach out to me and I can connect you with our global ambassadors. So what's next? And I promise this is the last slide in the presentation, and then I will open it up for questions. We want to make your study abroad dreams a reality. So here are 3 basic steps to move forward. I guess 4. First is connect with ISA. There is an ISA at studiesabroad.com. There's a phone number if you prefer to talk on the phone. But there's also, if you want to just take a look at some cool travel pictures, feel free to follow us on Instagram. There's actually like specific pages. I can go back, but I know that I put up like the Costa Rica specific Instagram. So you can specifically look at destinations in Latin America. But definitely feel free to follow and take a look at some of those pictures. And I'm always here to talk to you as well. So don't feel like you have to email just like the general ISA email. I'm here to support you through the process and here to answer any of your questions. I do a lot of one-on-one advising sessions with students where we essentially limit down the program that's going to be right for them based on finances, academic fit, how long you want to go, et cetera. And I'm happy to have that conversation with you one-on-one. So here are the 3 big steps on the UH Clear Lake side as you're, embarking on this journey. First, confirm any requirements your university has, whether that be GPA requirements, being on good standing with your university, any of that good stuff. Just make sure that you are checking with Brittany in your study abroad office or your education abroad office to ensure that you are meeting those requirements. Secondly, and I know I touched on this in the last slide, but meet with your financial aid office to talk about how any financial aid or scholarships that you get through UH Clear Lake could potentially apply to a program abroad. And then finally, your 3rd step is going to be talking to your academic advisor to learn a little bit about how the courses abroad are going to transfer back to UH Clear Lake. So let's say you're taking a marine biology course at Universidad Veritas. You are ultimately going to have to get that approved by your academic advisor at UH Clear Lake. So just be sure that you are bringing those classes to them and making sure that you are all good to go. So I know I talked a lot. That is the end of my presentation. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen. And I'm going to open it up for questions. So please, if you have questions about anything I said, or if you've got questions for Brittany, because Brittany's here as well, representing UH Clear Lake Global Learning, feel free to unmute yourself or type it in the chat, whatever you'd like. All right, I'm going to go ahead and ask a question then, since we don't have any questions. I'm going to say, of all the locations that I highlighted, was there one that stuck out to you?
They all seemed very exciting. It's hard for me to pick. Yeah, those were. You guys can definitely use the chat box too, or the Q&A. Okay.
Was Chile the only location with a business program? Great question, Jessica. No, it is not the only location with a business program. Costa Rica also has business courses. There's a program in Medellin, Colombia, which I did not highlight, that has business courses as well. So no, it's actually, you'll find as you start to do some research, it's really easy to find business courses abroad. I just highlighted UAI because it's super well renowned and it's got that, triple accreditation. But if you're interested in going somewhere else, there's definitely, business is one of the easiest majors to find courses. But I'd definitely check out Costa Rica as a second choice and Medellin as maybe a third. Of course. All right, while we're waiting for more questions to come in, I'm also just going to go ahead and put the link to the website in the chat. Here you go. So as you are, looking through these destinations, deciding which one's best for you, this just will give you an easy snapshot. I'm also going to go ahead and put my email in the chat too. So if you have any questions, if you're just like laying in bed tonight and you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't ask about Buenos Aires, you can always shoot me an email.
Alrighty. This was very, very informative. Thank you, Zoe, for taking your time to speak to our students today about Latin American countries.
Oh, thank you, Brittany. It was such a pleasure to be here with you guys. And it was great to meet all of you. And I hope that you make the decision to study abroad. It's a very life-changing experience. And Brittany and I are both here to help you throughout your journey.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, with that concludes the presentation, unless I see any more last minute questions come through. But if not, what day is it today? Monday. Have a wonderful rest of, is it Monday? I don't even know.
Yes, it's Monday.
Crazy. It feels like it's Wednesday. But have a wonderful rest of your Monday, and we'll be in touch.
Alrighty, thank you so much, Zoe. I appreciate it. And you guys who are still attending, yeah, don't forget to email Zoe if you think of any questions, or email educationabroad@ucl.edu. And we will conclude the webinar session for today. Alrighty.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.